the 19th Amendment, we can have 30 cabinet ministers and 40 state ministers or deputy ministers. According to the current proposed 20th Amendment, it says that you can have any number of ministers. I mean, having ministers is not the problem, but the problem is that the ministers are completely, it shows that they depend on the public funds and taxpayers' money. One of the best examples are, very recently I found this on social media and I've seen that going around and people talking about it. One of the ministers requesting from the ministry, asking for an umbrella, VIP torch and a dragon light, iPad and iPhone. So that shows that, you know, the government ministers, all ministers, it could be any government, are depending on those basic things also by the people's taxpayers' money. So imagine you have 150 plus cabinet ministers and ministers,
or even
all of them are depending on public the taxpayers' money.
But isn't these
I remember there was a time that there were senior ministers also in the parliament, which is absurd. You know, you can't have senior ministers. I mean, there's no such portfolio around the world saying
yes, senior ministers without portfolio.
Yeah. So I mean, purely it just shows that that, you know, to satisfy those politicians, you give different ministries to them. So actually what we should do is not satisfy the politicians, we should satisfy the people. So that's what we should do. So I think this constitution should be in favor of people. You know, the current government have got a mandate of 6.9 million and people have voted for them. And I'm sure that people have trust and faith in His Excellency the President and the Prime Minister and the rest of the Parliament members. But the thing is, you are approving of such a strong document, which is going to be the law of the country, constitution of the country,
any incoming new president.
Exactly, in the future, right?
And that's
so
the problem.
You don't know who is going to be in power next, right? If the current president and the prime minister is going to be in power for the rest of Sri Lanka, that's a different story, because people have voted for them.
But isn't that what is being planned?
I mean, we all are human, you know.
Yes.
I mean, see, we have to be realistic for us, right? Nobody thought.
But what's let me play devil's advocate. I'm no means advocating this position, but if I play devil's advocate for the sake of debate, what if the people, what does it matter if that's the rule? Because the people finally will give or will not give the mandate. So if the people give you the mandate, then you can have 10 terms if that's what you want.
Yeah, that's fine. But my problem is, if tomorrow there is another president and a prime minister comes to office, right? And they hold the office. According to this proposed constitution, you can take off the prime minister just like how you take off another minister from the cabinet, right? That is against, I think that is against the mandate given by the people to the parliament, you know. So legislator also has a role to play. So I mean, the parliament absolutely going to be just another rubber stamp if at all, if this goes through. That's my view. Someone can oppose that, but then I think we have to strengthen the parliament too, not weaken the parliament. So 225 members of parliament should have the voice for the people, and they should be able to in all their ways to represent the people, right? So if you have a parliament where you can just take the prime minister any minute that the president wants him out, it's a serious issue. It's going to be a serious crisis, like how it happened in 2018.
On that note, I know that this is a shortened version of NEWSLINE Live, but unfortunately we have to go for a short break. Although, do join us back after this short message.
US President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump test positive for COVID-19. President inquires into issues faced by people in the Matale district. 51 injured after bus plunges into a precipice along Hatton-Diagama Road. 4 suspects involved in Katana money heist arrested.
Welcome back to Newsline Live. This is a shortened version, as I said, because we had technical difficulties. Dr. Kavinda Jayawardena is our guest tonight, and he will be our guest again for a full version on next Wednesday at 8:30, the usual time. Now then, Doctor, the 20th Amendment and all the proposed changes, what is the single most worrying aspect? Is it the Auditor General bit, or is it something else?
No, one of the things is definitely Auditor General, because, you know, as I told you before, the transparency is very important, and Right to Information Act, what will happen to that?
But they're not proposing any changes to that.
According to what I've heard, that they are going to take that off. Last time that I was on a debate with another government member, that's what I heard.
Isn't it in the proposed
No,
change?
that is not in here, because that wasn't part of the 19th Amendment. After the 19th Amendment, we passed as a bill,
Right.
Right to Information Act. So, and at the same time, you know, I have concerns because we made Parliament very transparent, bringing media into the Parliament. Select committees were given permission to cover by the media, and people saw what was going on in the country. And Cope also was
But the
telecasted.
other worrying aspect is that the Elections Commission will be proposed of 3 people who will be appointed by the President.
Yes.
But then during an election, it is those 3 people who will give directives to the media. And I, as a journalist, I find that utterly abhorrent.
At the same time,
Utterly abhorrent.
At the same time, as a journalist, I think you should also speak about, you know, what happened to Cope and Copa. You know, people saw what was going on in the country and how these ministers, ministries and the government servants have worked within their institutes, and it was very clear that some of the deals, some of the tenders and some of the ways that they have handled public funds, and you could telecast that on media. So unfortunately now they have stopped that. You know, that's something I think, I feel like we are going backwards.
How does all these changes, how does that strengthen? I mean, we all accept that you need strong government, but how on earth does all these proposed changes that are, some of them I call abhorrent, but with the other changes, the taking away of the accountability or the auditing aspect and so on, how can this strengthen the hand of the President?
I'm not quite sure, Faraz. That's why I said that if you're making a new constitution or bringing another amendment to it, we have to make it better than before. You know, right now this government has been in power for almost a year, right? For this November it's going to be a year. So what are their plans for provincial councils? For last 4.5 years they were blaming the good governance government, saying that we did not conduct elections. Why are they delaying provincial councils? Are they going ahead with the 13th Amendment? So I think these are concerns that people has, and what's happening around the country. There are so many environmental issues that we have been facing.
Absolutely.
And there are so many concerns that people are raising up, but at the same time, what we are forgetting, the most important thing is the economy of the country. You know, there's no tourism. Does the government
the latest ratings have down-rated almost every government institution and the banks as well.
Yeah, so
in Sri Lanka,
so
that's very worrying. But of course, the whole world is down.
Yeah, but then the government has a plan. Like, okay, we don't have tourism for quite some time now, and what's the next step, right? And then especially the workers who have been abroad Now they are coming back to Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
And what are they going to do?
So we're going to be impacted on the foreign remittances.
Exactly.
The companies are not able to employ as many people as they did.
Yes. And the production, exports.
Yes. So what's the real solution?
I think that's the thing. The government should really concern about the economy of the country, not trying to bring a amendment to the constitution where things get more complicated.
What about if they say, look, that's precisely why we want these changes, because we don't want to be engulfed in bureaucracy, and we just want to go gung-ho and sort the problem out of the economy?
I mean, it's a question of how your cabinet numbers going up and solving the country's economy, how putting an amendment where you, as the president, you could take the prime minister out of the office anytime as you wish. And
the war-winning president doesn't seem to mind. He has
I absolutely. I think people have faith in this president, right? That's why they
but I'm saying,
voted.
what about the prime minister? He's not making any fuss about it.
No, so luckily this is two brothers. So I'm not worried about these two brothers. I'm worried about future.
Indeed. Dr. Kavinda Jayawardena, thank you very much. This short version, but Dr. Kavinda Jayawardena will be with Newsline Live on the next Wednesday at 8:30, and hopefully we'll be able to start then on time and have our full program. Because of technical difficulties, today was rather a challenge. But thank you for sticking with us.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. And that's the way it was on Newsline Live. Take care. Have a great evening ahead of you. And of course, God bless you.